Alright, I've decided to show some of my Jato 3.3 for this season. This will be what I'm running on the track. Now, I'm pretty happy with this vehicle. It's probably going to be pretty strong when it's done its break-in. It's on stage 3 right now, and I did my rebuild at that point, as is my norm. If I'm going to do a rebuild, I like to do it early on in the break-in. In fact, the first 3 stages are best to be done stock, but after that, any upgrades you really want to do, any weight you really want to do, redo stage 3, put all your stuff on. So this will actually get a 6-stage break-in, even though I'm not really adding that much weight to the vehicle. In fact, I've made it lighter. One of the ways I've done that is I've removed the wheelie bar, replaced the battery pack with the upgrade battery, which sits here, which is much better anyway. You get much better weight distribution, center of gravity. Also, the cooling head is lighter, even though it doesn't necessarily look it is indeed lighter than the stock. Also, this pipe, again, while it may not look it, it's the single chamber pipe. The other pipe is dual chamber. It's actually a little bit longer and has 2 chambers inside and some metal there to separate it. So it's, again, lighter than stock. The only places I've really added weight are here in the wheel wells, which is actually a really good spot to add the weight to it, and to have it be tough. So on the track, I'm pretty sure this thing's going to be brutal. I've got titanium shocks with covers, front and rear, with shock shafts. In the rears, I have the boots, as well as these shock covers. In the front, I just have the shock covers, just because the fronts usually doesn't take all that much abuse on my vehicles. It's usually the rear end. I usually am up towards the front, which usually means I'm not bashing into people or having too much dirt come into the front of my vehicle. It's at the rear. It's occasionally getting people land on you coming off of jumps and stuff like that. You want to have the rear end be fairly strong. So I may still upgrade a couple of things here. I'm thinking I might go with an upgraded rear bulkhead. I definitely am going to go with a set of R.P.M suspension arms all the way around. Aside from that, it'll pretty well run as you see it here. So the important things I wanted you to notice now, I may be racing in a very fast vehicle, but on a racetrack you never get to more than 45. So, and even then, 45 miles an hour is a stretch on any racetrack I've seen. So what I'm going to say to you is that if you're driving something like this, which is legal, you know, it's a 2-wheel drive stadium truck, it's in the right scale, the engine's not ridiculously sized, they are great vehicles. What I can tell you is that if you're going to race this vehicle, you can run the stock clutch bell, but do what I've done here. Change your gearing so that at least you're going 1 tooth down, and that'll give you a little more acceleration, which is great. Off-road, you get lots of power down low, means you can always accelerate and move forward. But you got to be careful, because you want to set up your throttle trim so that you're not just, and your clutch, so that you're not just getting ridiculous acceleration. Anyway, one of the things that has made me put this single chamber pipe on for the next 3 stages of break-in, for the high speed portion of the break-in, are really simple, and it goes like this. Okay, the logic is, for stage 1, 2, and 3, where it's the most sensitive and the metallurgy of the engine is the most sensitive, I kept it stock. However, it has not done its break-in yet. I will redo stage 3. It will get half the break-in with this pipe. But also, because anytime you increase certain things like engine RPM, you're going to want to deal with the increased heat that's going to come. Now, I did not have any problems with this vehicle overheating, but because I'm gearing it more for acceleration, which means engine RPMs are going to build more quickly than they would have in the stock vehicle, I put this cooling head on so that I can really closely monitor the temperatures. I run telemetry on board this little buddy, and you can actually see it in there. There's the band. That is my telemetry from this. So I do run my Spectrum with this particular vehicle. I only run the Futaba for my electrics. My gas vehicles all run Spectrum. If they're running any kind of upgraded remote, that is. Some don't. But the Duratrax will be Spectrum. This is Spectrum. My Revo 2.5R is on the stock remote, but that's kind of irrelevant. Anyway, I just thought I'd show a quick overview of my vehicle, and here it is. Jato 3.3 in racing trim, almost. I'm not quite there yet. I've still got a couple more things I want to do to it before I actually take it racing, but it's pretty close to where it'll be when I go racing with it. You'll notice I've replaced the steering link, but that's about it. It's good to keep it light, and that's actually pretty strong and well sealed within the truck, so cleaning may be an issue, but damage really isn't.
And by the time he left, he was just another inmate, just another number.
Okay, so there's my Jato 3.3, and Keith out.